This chain's had some miles on it, that's for sure. Oof. It's warm. That's bad, isn't it? That's bad. Winter has not been particularly kind to this chain. Or maybe you could say the owner hasn't been particularly kind to this chain. So let me give you some options on tidying this up. Wow, that's bad. First thing to take into account is this wheel is going to get really, really messy. So you've got a couple of options. You can cut some cardboard and make yourself a little cardboard shield. You can spend a lot of money buying that pro tension piece of plastic crap. You can put something on the wheel. This is like polish, yeah, so it's like car polish or something like that, and you could coat your wheel in that. There you go. Splodge for a splodge. Use a spray can or whatever you've got, and at least you'll have a layer of something on your wheel before things get messy. Now that I've sprayed my wheel down, I'm going to start with degreasing, because some of this is dried on grease. Yes, there's a lot of rust, but there's a lot of dried on grease here. So I'm going to use the kerosene that I just poured out. That's assuming this squirter works, which I don't think it does it? No. Yay! Let's go find another one. You fancy some wine, sir? This is called decanting, if you want fancy language. So, now that we've got a squirter that should work, there we go. Just going to wet down the chain, rotate it, wet it down. This is the degreasing part of it. We just want to get any old grease off of there before we even think about touching the rust. Even though that looks dry, I guess it's going to be dried on grease, and this stuff is so cheap. It's cheaper than a 12 quid can of whatever. And it carries on working, which is great. You could leave it on here for 10-12 minutes quite happily. Also, the reason we don't want to use things like this on our chain is because if you have a gold chain, it will be anodized, which means it will be a very thin layer of gold. It won't be gold all the way through. So as you scrape it up with metal, you'll remove the gold anodization, or whatever color the manufacturer's put on there. So, and it's risky to O-rings, right? So we won't be doing that. Also, we won't be using this. This is a water displacer that's mostly solvent. So that's not going to help us. We don't need water removed from the chain. So if you have any of this and you're thinking about using it on your chain, don't. Okay, so I've got paraffin on my chain. I've let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes, and now I'm going to agitate it with a nylon brush. So I'm just going to take my time, get both sides of the chain. This brush will not bother those lovely, lovely O-rings. I'm not so worried about the rust at this point. It's really just any dried on chain lube from the past. Okay, so I've been round the chain a couple of times now, as you can see. And I'm just going to allow that paraffin to start evaporating. It's not going to evaporate instantly in 5 minutes, depending on the heat. But go make yourself a cup of tea or something and come back in a moment. Time to attack the rust. This is Worth contact oil, and it is incredibly good at removing oxidization, which is that stuff there. So go look online for this. It is fantastic. Let me show you how fantastic it is. So I'm just going to take this little area here. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little brush. You can buy like sets of 3 of these for like £3.95 in the UK delivered. Maybe less if you shop around. It's metal, I get that, okay, but it's quite soft. It's not pricking my finger or anything like that. And all I'm going to do is take the brush and just slowly start working that contact oil over the corrosion. Can you see what's happening already? Can you see that? It's like magic. And it's not like I'm applying a lot of pressure here. All I'm doing is running it over like I would on my gloves. Yeah, it's not destroying my gloves. I'm just running it over nice and gently. And you can already see it's having some kind of crazy impact on that corrosion. Just run it up and down. Like I say, metal brush, it's not destroying my glove. Nice and gently. So if it's not destroying my glove, it's not going to hurt any O-rings. And at this angle, I'm not going to do any damage. But if I start working here, again, I'm just going to keep my pressure light. I rate it. Amazing product. So just move the chain around a bit. The next one is Bulldog BDX. Going to give it a shake. Very similar to the Worth product. Come on, Barry. He's such a doofus. Every time. So a little bit of the BDX. Same again. Just work it. Hey. Okay, so this is the Bulldog BDX section. That's the Worth section there. I'm not putting these products saying one's better than the other. I just find them both amazing. I think this one is about £12.99, although if you get to a trade show, sometimes they do it at 10 quid a can. Last time I looked, this Worth contact oil is 20 quid a can. But yeah, they're both exceptionally good products. Should we rinse it off? Okay, I've got a little bit more work to do there, but you can see it's effective. And now the Worth section. Kind of worked on both sections about the same. So you can see why I like them both. They do a really good job. So that's the Worth contact oil. I need to work it a little bit more, obviously. And there's the BDX section. Right, next thing is, I'm gonna choose one of these cans. I'm gonna get to work on my chain. Given that this one's low, and this one's quarter full, looks like I'm gonna do the BDX all over my chain. Get scrubbing, put some tunes on, see what we end up with. So a quick degrease so I can see any bits I've missed. Right, once I let it all settle, might as well wash my bike. That chain's looking so good. Okay, my bike's had a quick wash, and that's my chain. Not bad, huh? I'll clean it down, degrease it with, I'm just going to use brake cleaner on it, just to degrease, get the BDX and anything that's carried with it off. You can use whatever chain degreaser you want. I think you could probably even use WD-40 if it's got loads of solvent in it. There you go. Just give it a bit of a spruce. Not bad, huh? Again, this is just to carry anything away that, and then I'll lubricate the chain once this is all dried. So what I'm going to do now is just spray some of this Bulldog BDX onto a sponge. and then work my way around the chain with it, rather than spraying it onto the chain and getting it everywhere. Just put it on a sponge, work it round, do another section, work it round. You'll have your own. What I will ask is that if you can do better without replacing your chain, you've got a better product that you recommend, a better technique, get your cameras out, get on YouTube, tag me so I can see your videos. Yeah, check it. Let's see if you can do better than me. If you can, I want to see the technique that you use. I want to see the product you use. Not too shabby, huh? No O-rings were harmed in the making of this video. Well, here I am a week later in the beautiful Devonshire village of North Taunton, after having a naughty, dirty burger. Let's have a look at the chain. Woo-wee. Yeah, looks good to me. Happy days. That was quite a difference, right? Cheers. Lovely old town, this. One of my old stomping grounds. Anyways, yeah. It's done some miles. It's still looking sweet.